Hey guys, I'm Bradu. Welcome back to the Dungeon of Shadows, where we've got two more doors to investigate and see what's going on. We've just defeated the Demogorgon spawn, uh, beheaded it, tossed the head to Flizzlebin, and sent him on his way. And he traded us his vanishing cap. Which I may give to Lady Applejack. I think that makes the most sense. It would help her to guarantee her sneak attack, whereas if I gave it to Will the Wise, it would be more of a defensive measure to keep him alive if need be. Um, I'm actually gonna set. I didn't set my timer very well, but my last session was about a half hour. So I'm going to set a half hour timer for my light spell which is on my staff here, and also the mage armor. Okay, so which door are we going to do? North, 1, 2, 3. South, 4, 5, 6. 3. Going to the north. All right, so listen in. And the listening in the door is just kind of my thing. I like to have a 17 plus whatever my wisdom would be, which is a plus 2 for tear. So if there's anything to hear, he definitely hears it, but I kind of don't think he wouldn't. But the door says, and this is something I would change. I would absolutely change this. I was thinking about this. So let me show you what the book says and what I would do. And this is on both the regular Dungeon of Shadows and the Shadow Dungeon, which is in the Upside Down. The doors say, so like the upper one said, a spider web is etched into this door. The inscription reads, Den of Itsy. That's the one we already went into. This one says, where is it? Oh. A black spider web is etched into this door, and inscription reads, Den of Bitsy. I would probably just maybe have. You got to go with the names there, so we're gonna put Bitsy on the door. But maybe that's not my best example. Let's go back to the first floor. The Knolls. Etched into this door is the image of a scowling bipedal hyaenid warrior, and the inscription reads Altar of Yinagu. I'd probably just say Altar of Yinagu. The Goblin Door. In this door's relief, 3 mischievous creatures with pointed ears and sharp teeth surround an anvil. The inscription reads Forge of Gibbletracks. I definitely wouldn't put the creatures there. Because you're telling the group that it's what's in there. If you describe it, well, it's goblins are in here. I would just say, maybe just have a picture of the anvil. Or maybe it says Gibbletracks, right? Or Forge of Gibbletracks. Any of that's fine. I would not do all of it. The Labyrinth. This door bears a relief of a many-horned minotaur above a stone maze and says Labyrinth of Doom. I would either have a picture of a maze or have horns, so you have a hint that it might be a minotaur, right? Or maybe it just says Labyrinth of Doom, but not all of that. It's way too much info. So on that note, this door just says Bitsy. And maybe has a spider web in the corner, right? You got to add a little bit. So that one's pretty clear no matter which way you spin it, like a web. Let's see. So we're going to. Do we hear anything on that? That's a high roll, but that means maybe Bitsy is making some noise in there. I think that high roll maybe tells us at least that we have a pretty good idea what's in here. So, as we open it up, ooh, the webs are black. That's kind of fun. As we open it up, we open the door once again, into webs. Get out your torch, even though you got the light spell. However, we're lighting up the room. So we open up the door, and Will starts lighting up the webs. You know what we should have done? I'm going to backtrack it. We're going to go back up to the first level of the dungeon and use the secret door. Because we figured out that secret door and we figured out the map and everything. So let's do that. That'll be more fun, I think. More fun and interesting. So we actually come in here. Let's do that. And the first one in will be Tear, who's no longer invisible, but that's okay. And when he comes in, he sees a statue, and the rest of them are going to follow him. It's hard to fit them all in these little squares. He's gone now. I don't know if that will matter at all. Probably not. A statue of an 8-foot-tall knight. Ooh, darn it. Hang on. Alright, so just for kicks, I wanted to find. So this was our statue on the other one. And I put this so it tilt right. You can't see it tilting that much because of the overhead view. But I wanted to find a mini for this because it says, a statue of an 8-foot-tall knight with a horned crimson helm stands in this chamber. So we'll put him here. And again, oops, wrong way. And again, we'll have it leaning. A massive spider with dripping fangs wraps a dead elf in webs. In the center of the room, humanoid-shaped cocoons, the arachnid's ghastly larder, hang throughout the chamber. So it's on. We just got to roll initiative. Basically, as soon as we come into the room, we've got light, and the spider's going to attack, and we're going to be kind of ready for it. So let's roll initiative. We've got a huge 18 plus 3, and it's got a 16 plus 3 or 2 or something. We're going to win it barely, I think. I should have got my spider over here. Spider. Giant spider has a dex plus 3. Okay, but we have a dex plus 3 as well. So we do go first. So what I should have done is, as I came into this room, I should have tried to place her hiding. We'll try that. I'll go ahead and have her try to sneak into a spot for a shot. Nat 20. Man, she definitely sneaks. So the reason I'm rolling that at advantage, thieves in Shadowdark, thieves always get advantage on thiefy stuff. So like, let me just read it real quick because I'm right here. You're trained in the following tasks and have advantage on any associated checks: climbing, sneaking, and hiding, applying disguises, finding and disabling traps, delicate tasks such as picking pockets and opening locks. So that's why I also made my house rule for triggering sneak attack a high 18. So she's got to get an 18 to trigger the sneak attack. She's got it. So she's going to shoot. Now that she's hidden, she's going to shoot the spider at advantage with her short bow. 19. Definite hit. Short bow is a d4 of damage. And I get an extra d4 because of the sneak attack. So 5 damage on Bitsy. Okay, Tear is going to... You know what? Bitsy's right here. I'm going to do a check to see if I notice that... I'm going to do an intelligence check for him to see if he notices that this statue is also tilting kind of forward towards him. 12, that's good enough. I would have made it... I should have said what it was. But his intelligence is -1. Never mind. I said intelligence. So he doesn't really notice it. Since I announced him, I'll have him attack. He's our strong character too, so that's kind of a bummer. But he'll attack with his flame sword. 3 misses. And on that note, Nog will come running in, and I'll give Nog the same check. Can Nog notice the same thing? Intelligence 10? Nope, Nog doesn't notice either. So Nog wants to help too, but he can't get there. So I'm going to have Will light a torch and start burning these webs. So I would say I can burn up 2 squares of webs, enough that Nog can make his way up here and fight. He will attack with the flail. 17. Awesome hit. D8. Plus 1 damage. 3 damage. Weak sauce. Oh, it's just 1 spider, though. We don't want to get bit, though, and we might. So now he's got... The spider is next to... You know what? Let's make this interesting here. He's going to attack any of them. He could attack any of them. A D4. So my characters are Tear, Nog, Lady Applegate, Will the Wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, Tear. Great. Whatever. Tear's right in front of him. He'll try to wrap Tear up like this. And Bitsy rolls a high 15. That is a D4 plus poison. Tear takes 2 damage. Oh, he's down. I forgot to heal him again. Doggone it. I'm not doing that. Again, I'm not doing that. I got to be better at this. We're going to retroactively try a healing spell on him. 7? Why not? Is that close? 7 plus 4. Ooh, just barely. Just barely. 1 less wouldn't have been enough. So he heals 1 hit point, and I'm going to try another one. We're going to try it again. 13 is another heal. 4 hit points. Good. Good enough. I should have done something else here. I should have done that first, by the way. I'm pretending those rolls I just did happened way back when we were in the room with Flizzlebin getting his hat, because that's a safe spot to do a couple spells. But again, I did this last session. He would not be like, all right, I'm almost dead. Let's go keep knocking down doors. He would say, I need healing. So that's why I'm allowing myself to retroactively do it, even though I forgot. So he's now takes another 2 hit points from the spider, and he has to try to DC Con. 12 to avoid the poison. 11? Does he have a plus 1? He does. Ooh, barely a plus 1. So he's safe this time. He got bit last time and it paralyzed him. This time it does not. He's able to fight it off. It's like his body has felt this poison once, and it was just enough to avoid becoming paralyzed. And just for fun, let's have Lady Applejack, who's hiding behind the statue, try to jump kick it. It's a strength check, and I think it's a DC 12, but I'll double check. 16, she gets it. So she jumps up and drop kicks the statue forward to squash the spider. Sorry, I'm doing this the same way. But to squash the spider, which cracks open. Let's see, it does something cool, I think. Yeah, I could have checked to see the statue was tipping forward, sure. When the statue topples, statue crumbles on impact, revealing the helmet falls off and glows. Inside the statue, which breaks open, is a heart-shaped black tourmaline. So how you say that? Tourmaline, worth 10 gold pieces. It actually says 30 gold pieces, but I called the 90 gold piece one 30, so we're going to call the 30 gold piece one 10. But there's also a helmet. that does something cool. And I need to see what it is. I can't remember offhand. Ooh, I like it. I like the idea of the helmet. Um, the helmet resembles the head of a horned devil. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get out of here. We could spend some time pretending to search the room, but we already got the treasure right there. So let's go ahead and get out of here. We've got one more room to do. I'm going to give... Detect magic is what I should use, but I don't have the spell detect magic to figure out what a thing does. But I also think it's fair to do essentially an arcana check, an intelligence check. So on a 15 or higher intelligence check, I'm going to say that Will the Wise can figure out what the helmet does. Good. 16 is high. So what does it do? Oh, shoot, I don't have it. It does. This fearsome steel helm makes your eyes glow red while you wear it. Wait, that's it? No, that's not right. It does something else. What? Alright, I guess I have to read it on the thing. Just a second. Okay, so it says, it was pretty much that. While you're wearing this fearsome steel helm, your eyes glow red and the rest of your face is hidden in shadow. Pretty cool looking. You have advantage on charisma intimidation checks to intimidate a humanoid who sees you wearing this helm. So I think what I'm going to do as far as shadow darkifying this, we'll do the thematic eyes glow red while you wear it. Awesome. Advantage on in checks to intimidate, which I also think would, let's make it a once per day you can force an opposing creature to make a morale check at disadvantage. Does that seem reasonable? Once per day, one humanoid creature, disadvantage morale check. I think that's fair. That makes it a pretty cool magic item. And I'm unsure yet if I'm going to have Nog wear that or Tear. I think Tear the Paladin would be a total badass with that helmet on. And this flaming sword, he's like turning into this evil looking knight. But also the visual of him wearing this giant helmet that like is like a, you know, like an 8-year-old wearing a NFL football helmet, and it's just like clanging around on his head. Nog, the dwarf, probably has a bigger noggin, and it would also look cool on him, but he's already got a cool helmet, so I don't know. I'll think about it. Who's got charisma? They both have charisma too, so we'll see what I want to do there. All right, let's keep moving. Sorry, making too much. Okay, we only have one room left. I'll pretend to listen in, but there's nothing in here. We might hear, actually. I'll do a listen check. 3. No, we don't hear shit. Don't hear stuff. I try not to cuss, and I always forget and cuss like once. Alright, so we come into this room, and it says, there are vines. You can see them. There are vines slithering in this room. Slithering black vines squirm along the floor of this trash-filled room. And this is a room where I'm going to treat it slightly differently than it says in the book, too. Again, I don't like this. The first character to sift through the trash and succeed on a DC 12 wisdom check unearths 5 cracked urns. Wait, so one character finds all 5? That's dumb. Of the 5 urns, one of them holds a treasure, and the treasure is 2 items. So that's kind of silly too, but I'll go with that, just for the simplicity. There's one urn of the 5 that has treasure in it. So we'll say that in order to find the one urn that has treasure in it, we have a 1 in 5 chance, which means you need to roll a 16 or higher to find that. 16 or higher wisdom check. Okay? Each character gets a chance. That's what I'm going to do. Does that make sense? So there's 5 urns, so a 1 in 5 chance on a d20 would be 16 or higher, right? But I'm going to allow them to add their wisdom bonus. So that's what I'm saying. If you roll a 16 or higher wisdom check, you find the urn with the potion. With the potion treasure. We'll go in order. Tear, 16, wisdom, plus 2, got it. He finds a potion of healing and a glass eye with an emerald pupil worth 10 gold pieces. I'm not going to change the value of that because it's only 10 anyway. 10 gold piece glass eye. That's a neat treasure. That's cool. And a potion of healing. The potion of healing will be an XP. I think I said previously, if you're, again, I'm assuming that some people watching this are 5e people who don't know Shadowdark, and I'm playing Shadowdark, so I'm trying to explain some of the Shadowdark stuff as I play. So in Shadowdark, you level up by finding treasure. You get 1 XP for a decent treasure, like a bag of gold. I kind of set it at 20 gold pieces for a treasure. So like I'm counting an XP for the 25 gold pieces we found. I'm not counting an XP for the 10 gold piece glass eye we just found now. But I am giving an XP for the potion of healing, which is a magic item, but it's an expendable magic item, not a permanent magic item. So on a really special treasure like the magic flail and the magic sword, flaming sword we found, I give 3 XP. So that's the standard, 1, 3, or 10 if it's like a massive, like end of the campaign artifact treasure would be 10 gold pieces. And to reach each level, you have to get 10 times the level you're currently at. So you need 10 XP to go from level 1 times 10, to 2. And we've got that now. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 exactly. Oh, and the Dread Helm. I'm going to call the Dread Helm 1. Usually I give 3 for a magic item, but because it's not a super powerful magic item, I guess, with a one-time... I'm calling that 1 XP. So anyway, we're at 11 XP, which means the whole party will now level up. I'm going to head back to town, though. Let's go ahead and finish out this session. We finished out the dungeon, right? Nothing left to find. We went there. Yep, we finished out the dungeon. Flizzlebin's gone. We're now going to head back to town. I am going to do one thing. I've got a map somewhere. Let's try and find that. Okay, so here's our map of Grey Hawkins. This is just kind of neat, I think. Dungeon of Shadows, this is where we're coming from. So we'll just say that we are traveling from the Dungeon of Shadows back to Grey Hawkins to try and get to the city, which would have all of the, all of the stores and shops and inns and stuff we would probably need. There's all these other things on the map that we will get to if we continue this campaign. I'm not sure how I'll go about that yet. But let's say we're going to Grey Hawkins to level up and all that jazz. I do have some hit points down from Tear, so we'll try to heal him up one more time. 14 is good. You can't see that, but there it is, 14. 1 hit point. Let's do it again. 9 is good. 3 more. Okay, so he's now only down 1 hit point. Nog's going to heal himself up too. We're doing all this healing before we leave. 2 hit points, so he's got 1 hit point down. Okay, so fine, whatever. The only reason I did that is because now I'm going to roll. If I'm doing like hex crawling, I'm rolling random encounter checks. So I'm going to say to get back to Gray Hawkins, let's say we would do 1 if it's close. 2. We're 2. We're doing 2 checks on it. On a 1. Oh, there's my... So my light spell's over. But it's daytime now when we come out of the dungeon anyway. I'm not going to mess with light. You know what? Let's check. Is it daytime? On a high, it's yes. On a low, it's no. High, it's yes. 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 And it's very bright out. I'm going to do 2 checks on a 1. On a D6, we have a random encounter on the way. 3, nope. And 3, nope. So we make it to Gray Hawkins. And I'm going to do... I was kind of hoping for a fight, a random encounter, roll something up in the book. But I still could do something fun just for kicks. We're right at the end here. Let's say we are going to go shopping. What is the first thing I would want to buy here? We want an upgrade armor for Tear, I bet. What does he have? Leather and shield. Yeah. So I would upgrade his armor. I'm not going to do all this. I'm lying. But Tear will buy a new armor. He'll upgrade to whatever he can get. His weapon's awesome already. Nog, I gave him a Nog maybe armor also, if I can afford it. Lady Applejack is good on armor. She might... I'll have to think if she needs anything. And Will the Wise, he might not need anything. Maybe I'll look for spells for Will. Like scrolls. See if I can find a wizard or something like that. So I'm not... I lied. I'm not going to play that out. We're at a pretty good stopping point having ended the campaign. But those are the things I would do. And I would level up. And again, I'm probably not going to do that right now on camera. But my whole group would now get to level 2. And I would probably do carousing, which is kind of a really fun thing. Let's do carousing as our level up. So we go to the inn. And I'm just gonna get right into it and hand wave most of it. But carousing can be really fun. If I can find it. And I think it's something that people who aren't familiar with Shadowdark might enjoy. Good God. If only I knew where it was. In the book. So we are going to try it though. Okay, so here's how carousing works. I'm not going to go through the whole role play of it, but you certainly can. We need a D8, which is right here. A worthy night of drinking and festivity. Bonus +0. We need to gather 30 gold pieces for the party. So we'll go ahead and trade in this statue, which is worth 30 gold pieces. And that will get us our night of carousing. So I'll sell the statue for 30. Again, like I said, I'm kind of hand-waving this stuff. Then what you do is you roll for each character on this, a D8. So Tear, while they're all drinking it up, gets a 3. He gets, you wake up in a gutter with 15% of your total wealth spent, but gain 3 XP. Okay. That's cool. So Tear got drunk and did something to lose gold. So he'll lose, I'll figure that out afterwards, but we'll lose 15% of his portion of the gold. After all of this. Nog. 5. You're fined 10% of your total wealth for starting a full tavern brawl. Gain 3 XP and barred from the tavern. That one seems to come up a lot. So that's what's one thing. This gets redundant after you use it a couple times, but you can definitely imagine how much fun you can have with that. Like, I'll get the dwarf, of course, gets drunk, starts a brawl, and gets booted from the tavern and fined by the local law enforcement. But gains his 3 XP. Okay, Lady A. Lady Applejack, 7. Ooh. You lead an entire tavern in a wildly insulting song about a disliked noble. Gain 4 XP. And a luck token. Ooh. Okay, we will take a luck token. Cool. That means I'll add a luck token to our... I don't carry them over, so like I didn't use a luck token this session. But I'll start next session with a luck token. And then I've also added a second one. And our last one is Will the Wise. There's also other not official Shadowdark carousing tables, but like Chubby Funster has the player's companion and GM companion, and there's a table for stuff that wizards would do, like you read a book and gain a whatever. Okay, 3. We already got a 3. Gain 3 XP and wake up in a gutter. So Tear and Will went off together, got drunk, woke up in the gutter, having spent 15% of their wealth. So I'll do all the math later. That was fun. We survived the Dungeon of Shadows and the Shadowy Dungeon, or whatever it was called, which makes so much sense with Shadowdark. I think that went pretty well. It was a little too easy, if anything, but I got some lucky rolls at the right times, too. If I continue this adventure, this campaign, it will almost be a campaign once I add in. I think there's 5 adventures. This was the first one. I have not read further, but if I do it will be in the interest of familiarizing myself with the content to run it for my kids. So right now my kids have at least 1, maybe 2 more sessions of this that we just finished. And so I won't do it right away. I'm going to pause from this, go back to my other adventures, which is I'll probably go back to Ruins of Ardust. And then come back to this at some point in the future when I'm ready to run it for my kids. But thanks for watching. Hope that was a fun few sessions for you guys following along. I'm Bradu, and this was Shadowdark, playing Stranger Things.